In this lesson, we will understand how to handle files in Python. We will see some examples also. Let us start. We can easily create, read, and operate on files in Python. Just like any other programming language, Python is also having a concept to work with files. With that, we can read a file, read a specific part of a file, read specific characters from a file, specific lines. With that, we can easily write data to an already created file, delete a file, and perform other operations. So to create a file in Python, we use the open method. So let us see the first example. Here we have our PyCharm. We created our Python file handling project, and within that we have our programs. So this is the first program to create a file if it does not already exist. So I have mentioned in the slide that we use the open method. This is the file object, and within that we need to add the path where we need to create a file. X is a mode. So after comma we have a mode. That means here we are creating a file if it does not already exist. So this is the path. Here is the part D drive. So we have no text file here. We will create a text file using our code. This code will just create a file, empty file with no text with the name demo.txt under D drive. Okay. We have added double slash. If we'll add single slash, there will be an error. So you need to add a double slash. This is the directory under D drive. After creating the file using open, it will print the text here. I'll just right click and you can see now a new file will get created here under D drive, that is demo.txt. Run. It printed this text file created, and here a new file got created. You can check it is an empty file. You can open with Notepad or Notepad++. Here you can see it is an empty file. So we created an empty file using our code, that is the open function. Okay. So we saw the following code to create a file in Python using the open method. Now we have multiple examples, that is to read a file, write contents, and delete a file. So let us see all these examples one by one. Here is our PyCharm. I already told you about this example. Now we have multiple examples. So now we will read the contents of a file in Python. Okay. This will open an already created file, damit.txt. So let us first create this file under D drive. I'll just name it amit.txt, and within that I'll add some text. Let's say I'll add a demo text. Okay, so this is our demo text. Go to file and click save. You can also open it in Notepad. Okay, that's it. Now I'll go here under my code, that is here the path is D drive and we already created a file. Here you need to always remember the mode. It's R, that means read. And here we are using the file pointer object read method to read the contents of a file. So the contents will get printed. I'll right click and run. So here you can see the same contents are visible, that is the contents which we were having under amit.txt under D drive. So we read a file using our code with the read method. Now let us see the next example. In the next example, we are using the same file and we are reading only some contents of a file. So using the read method only, we can read the content of a file. Just mention the number of characters you want to read as a parameter. So here we are reading 10 characters from our file, from this file amit.txt. Okay, I'll just right click and run. So here you can see only the first 10 characters are visible. This was our file, only the first 10 characters are visible. Okay, so in this way we can read the contents of a file, that is the characters. Now the next example, reading one line from a Python file. For that we have a read line function. Rest everything is the same. So when I'll right click and run it, it will take this file and read only a single line. That is only the first line is visible if the parameter is having nothing. Here it is, it printed learning Python from Studiopedia. Okay. So in this way we can use the read line method. Now I'll go to the next code. Here we will read first 10 characters from the first line of a Python file. We will use the same readLine method, and within that we will add a parameter. If you'll add 10, that means it will read the first 10 characters of the first line. ReadLine is for reading a line. So it will begin from the top and print the first 10 characters. Here it is, learning P. This was our file and it printed from the first line only and the first 10 characters. I'll go here. So how we can read all the lines from a file? We have this Amit.txt, and here we need to read all the lines. So for that we have the read lines method. I'll just right click and run and it will print all these 3 lines. Here it is, it printed it. Okay. So it printed it like a list in Python. Why /n is visible? Because it's a new line. So in this way we can print all the lines from a file. Now the next example. To write contents to an already created file, use the open method. So here we are writing to a file, but we are overwriting content to an existing Python file. Because we already have Amit.txt with this content, I'll just close it from here. This was our file. Okay, and the following is the content. You can also see in the preview. I just told you. Okay, we will just overwrite this content using the open method with the W mode. Remember this mode? So here we are using the open method with the file object. With the file object, we are writing hi, how are you in place of the entire file content, that is the following. Okay, using the W mode and the write method. After that, we will close this file. This is used to close a file. Okay, the close method. After that, we will open the file again and read the same content and print it. Okay. I am mentioning again the file name is amit.txt. So I'll right click and run. So now what will happen? It will overwrite with hi, how are you, and it will display the content of amit.txt. That is hi, how are you. Now if you'll go here and here it is preview, and if you'll open this file, now we have overwritten the content completely. Okay. So we have overwritten our file using the W mode with the write method. Okay, we have the next example now. Here we will append content to an existing Python file. Here is our existing file. Here is our file already created with hi, how are you. We will append the content to it using the A mode. So the A mode is used to append content. Okay. This is the same file. Now what will be the output? The output will be hi, how are you, and after that welcome back, because we are appending a content. That means adding to the end. Run. It won't print anything because we did not use print. It will just add content to our file. So this is our file, and now when I'll open it, it will show you hi, how are you, welcome back. Okay. So in this way we can append content to a file using the A mode. Now the last method, that is to delete a file. So we will delete this file now. Okay. Here it's visible. After running the code, it will vanish. I'll just right click and run. Okay. Okay, now you can see it vanished from here, amit.txt. So here we have used the OS module. This is a module in Python. What is the purpose of this module? This is a built-in standard library that provides a way of interacting with the OS. So if you want to work with the file and directory management, to access environment variables, execute system commands like deleting a file, renaming a file, you can use the OS module. And here we are using it to remove our file. We successfully removed our file. So guys, we saw how to handle files in Python. We saw various examples including how to create a file, read specific contents, read specific lines, read all the lines, and also how to overwrite and append content to an already created file. With that, we also saw how to delete a file in Python. Thank you for watching.